This session of Squad School is going to discuss communicating with your group. Now, you should be regularly communicating with the participants in your group between meetings to continue to foster those connections and build relationships, to make sure that they have important information, to send reminders of things that are coming up, food responsibilities, events, childcare signups, and all those other fun things that happen in between meetings. At the beginning of the year, please sit down with your squad leader and discuss a plan for how you want to communicate all that information out. You can decide what types of communication make sense for your group. You can choose to do email, text messages, social media, any combination, but please just be mindful of especially anyone who's not on social media and doesn't have access to having or getting information there. There is no right or wrong combination. There is a question on your registration forms that asks people what their preferred method of communication is. So you can talk to your budget mom and ask for, what are the top two most preferred methods, and see if communicating out to those two is best. But at least trying to hit two. I know for me, I always put email down as a better way to communicate with me than social media, but I don't always check my personal email as frequently as I probably should, looking for information. So like for me, a text message, email blend is probably the best, but that's different for everybody. So you want to just pay attention to what's happening in your group and make sure that you're just communicating in the appropriate ways. For emails, there's a couple of ways these can be done. Typically, the squad leaders will put together the information from all the leaders and write an email. The squad leader can forward all that information to the Techie mom to send that out. Or the squad leader might prefer to send that email personally. So the Techie mom and the squad leader should figure out who is going to be creating the emails, who's going to be sending emails, and how frequently you want to send out emails. You can send them as frequently as once a week if you want to, but please don't send more than that. Please just make sure you're gathering information and compiling it into one newsletter instead of sending out a bunch of different communications. We just don't want to spam inboxes, and it can be really easy for people to just get overwhelmed and check out of paying any sort of attention to communication when it's happening too often. If you choose to opt out of sending emails altogether, that's fine. But if you do, you can either send emails through the Touchpoint Faith's database, which is a different training, or the list of emails can just be pulled from your registration forms by your budget mom, and she can send you that list of emails, and email then can just be sent through personal email. If you do opt to send emails that way, it's fine, but make sure that you put all of the email addresses for your group into the blind carbon copy field. That's the BCC field on your email. We want to make sure that we are protecting people's contact information. And I don't know if you've ever been on an email where you're not blind carbon copied and one person hits reply all, and then all of a sudden we have just this uncontrollable group text situation happening with 60 people. If you do prefer to go through My Faith Touchpoint to do that, there is training available for that, and then you don't have to worry about that blind carbon copy situation. Recipients can respond to the email and who sent it, but that's it. They can't talk to each other. If you choose to text, you can send text to your entire group through My Faith and Touchpoint as well. There's also a training available on that if you are wanting to use that tool. The way that many groups generally choose to do that is that you just kind of set up a communication tree within your group where your squad leader communicates out to your your mini squad leader coach. who then shares those announcements with all the mini squad leaders who share it out with your groups. If you don't have a mini squad leader coach, then it goes from the squad leader straight to the mini squad leaders who share out the information. So you can disseminate it that way to avoid putting your entire group on one single group chat. Let's stay away from doing that. Also, let's just be mindful of other leaders and their responsibilities. It is very frequent that our mom squad leaders will have access to information. Say the party mom is planning an event, or the caring mom is getting ready to do the service project, and they are just really excited to share those details. Those details should go through that same chain of command. If you have access to information that your mini squad leader doesn't have, please do not make that announcement in your group communication. It should be coming from your mini squad leader. In that environment, you are participating in the group. You're not the leader in that environment. You are leader planning the whole group, but as far as communicating with the individual mini squads, please allow the mini squad leader to fulfill the responsibility of her role and communicate those things out, and don't go around her by making that announcement directly to your group. Give her the information and let her make that announcement and communicate that out. If there is difficulty in getting things communicated, then please address that with the appropriate person in your group, whether that's the mini squad coach or your squad leader or a location specialist or bringing it to staff. Any of those people are appropriate to speak to, but let's make sure that we are honoring that that role in her responsibilities. And then finally, please be mindful of the timing of text messages, especially. If you are sending out a text message, please let's, as a rule, refrain from sending out group text messages unless it's an absolute emergency later than 8 o'clock at night and no earlier than 8 o'clock in the morning. Again, if you're canceling a meeting, if there's weather, if we need to tell people not to come, or if something's happening that you need to just absolutely communicate ahead of or later than those times, then go ahead and do that. But we just want to be mindful. We don't want to be disruptive of bedtimes or interrupting family time or precious mom time after the kids are in bed. And we also don't want to be waking people up in the morning, disrupting school routines, all the things. So let's just be mindful of those communication windows, and that goes for communicating both within our, with our participants as well as with our leaders. Let's just be mindful of those things. If you communicate on social media, there's less restrictions about that. Those people are already in a group. You don't have to really think too hard about that. I actually encourage you to leverage all of your different leaders and let them just post announcements about what they have going on and things that are related to their role right into the group without going through any sort of channel. Once it's approved and go, let them communicate in there. It will help your algorithm. It will keep responsibility off of you. So if you are making announcements in your Facebook group, put them in there. And my best advice there is if you do go that way, to kind of space them out and make sure they don't land together at one time and clump together, because sometimes information can get lost that way. We'll have another section on Facebook and social media altogether, but that is the top there of just group communication.